Good afternoon. It's Charli Wall here. I'm doing my weekly question of the week. And so I normally, if you don't know me or you haven't watched my stuff before, so I'm just sharing this into my group, She Connects. I answer a question of the week, and I did get a really good question about binge eating, which I was going to answer. Hi, Lucy. And what I've decided, I've just taken my son to King's Lynn, so I'm a bit late actually coming on. Hi, Kat. That's interesting that you two have come on actually. Because whilst I was driving my son to King's Lynn, I felt this really strong call to talk about grief today. So the question I got from the lady about weight loss and binging, I'm going to answer next week. So I think it's a really good question, and I'd got some plan around answering that. But I feel called to talk about grief today. And the reason you can probably hear my dog running a bit mad. She's going mad. But anyway, I'm guessing that this has come through me because it's my brother's birthday on Monday. And of course, every year he died when he was 21. And on Monday, he will have been 44. And I got a message from my sister whilst I was driving my son to the station saying she's really missing my dad today. And so I don't know, thank you for the heart. I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but I thought I'm just going to follow my wisdom, my inner wisdom, my guidance, and just talk about this subject because it feels like I need to. And I don't know where that's come from. So it might be that someone needs to hear this message today, or maybe I need to hear this, whatever's going to come through me. Or maybe my sister does. I don't know. But traditionally on his birthday, going back like before, say 2 years ago, I would have got really drunk all day. I would be absolutely dreading the lead up to the day of his birthday. And I always noticed, interestingly enough, that the lead up to either the anniversary or the birthday, whatever kind of anniversary trains hurtling towards you, if you've experienced grief, that the build up was always really difficult. And I had loads of thinking around what that meant, what my loss meant, how old he was going to be, and I would re-experience quite a lot of the emotions around the loss and the circumstances around the loss. And some of you will know, some of you won't know. I had quite, same for you, Kat, yeah. Don't you think that's weird that you two have come on? Because this is so like random. I was meant to do it at 1:15, but I took my son to the station anyway, so it's a bit late. But yeah, just synchronicity. And I just, I had chronic post-traumatic stress directly after my brother was killed in the motorbike accident. And that's another sort of really interesting piece for me now. I have learned the understanding from which I now teach, which is called the 3 principles. Which it looks at the power of thought. Now, I wasn't in the accident with my dad and my brother. My brother died, my dad survived. He was very badly injured though, and he was very badly disabled afterwards, brain injury, spinal injury. And he died in 2016, so just 2 years ago, really, in October. And I got the post-traumatic stress back, and it was really, those were very difficult times for me. And I utterly believed for a long time that I was broken and that My life sucked and I had terrible luck, and just kind of had this story around loss and grief and people dying, and I was very frightened of loss, and so I would kind of keep difficult relationships around me because I didn't want to upset them. I would always people please. I didn't want to lose anybody, and kind of dealt with this post-traumatic stress through drinking and working like a mad woman, workaholic, and just numbed in any which way that I could. So kind of when I came across this understanding early on last year, I'd kind of made a decision after my dad died and after I'd ended up in hospital that was it for me. I was just gonna, be happy, and I wanted to live in a place of gratitude and peace. I was so sick of 24, 25 years of grief, sorrow, pain. And I kind of realized that I was creating a lot of that pain myself. I was recreating instances and memories and past fears in my mind in the moment that I was in. So going back to the post-traumatic stress post my brother's accident, I got post-traumatic stress, and there were reasons for that. Like I had to identify his body and all sorts of other stuff. My dad was very, very ill, and I was very young, 21, and but my dad didn't have post-traumatic stress, and he was in the accident, and I just found that absolutely fascinating. And another thing I found really fascinating from a sort of spiritual point of view, and I hope this doesn't trigger anything for anybody, and I'm talking from a place of love and compassion, but I wanted to say, like, I'd seen my brother the weekend before he died. And of course, he's got life in his eyes and spirit and love and laughter and mischief. Like I've just taken my son to the station and he's the same age and he's got all of that within him. And when I identified my brother's body, that spark had completely gone, and there was nothing in his eyes. And sorry, my dog's going mental. And I can't do anything about the dog. That for me was like, where's he gone? Where's he gone? And it was a really sort of interesting insight into the nature of life and into the nature of death, and what happens to someone's spirit, the spirit, the soul that you see in the eyes. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of come in quickly and talk about, I'm getting a bit distracted because my dog's barking like a lunatic. Just to say that if you are experiencing grief at this time, then what I would suggest is that you hold on to the love that you had for that person. I don't know whether to go and sort this out. Help! And I'm going to go upstairs. I think that might be the easiest thing to do. Okay, I'll stand here. Yeah, just remember that we create the thought in our mind, and we have the ability to either create good thoughts or bad thoughts and hang on to bad thoughts. Okay, Kat, bye. And I know from my own personal experience that I was causing myself to suffer for many, many, many years. And I realize now that that was unnecessary. So I'm hoping Monday that I'll have a nice day. I'll nourish myself. I'll take care of myself. I'm not going to be working. I mean, as in, I'm not going to be talking to clients. I'm just going to take the day for myself, walk and remember and be kind to myself, because I think that's important. What I don't want to do is talk to myself with memories and what ifs and all the other stuff that we have a tendency to do: anger, negativity, fear, because I know that I loved him and he loved me. And I'm utterly privileged to have had a brother for that time, for those 18 years, and a father for the 44 years that I had a father. So the dog slightly distracted me, and I'm not sure what I was trying to say, but I wanted to say, you're not alone. And if you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm here. And I know that there's a way out. And I don't mean out. I know there's a way through. Like what we have is sometimes a resistance to these emotions that we're feeling. And when we resist the feelings of fear and grief and loss, we kind of hold on to them and we contract, and so they stay. And actually what they're meant to do is just flow through us and pass through us very naturally. And that's the nature of emotions, feelings, post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, anything that you think that you experience in the moment. It will pass through you. I promise you that it will pass through you. So that's where I want to end it. Hopefully the dog wasn't too distracting, and I will talk to you soon. This is just very brief this week, and I'll answer the question that the lady asked me about binge eating next Friday. If you want to come into my group, it's called She Connects, and I'll post the link. And if you want to talk to me, I'll post the link to do that too. Have a great day, guys. Lots of love. You are enough. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.